Part 2 of Full Court Press Basketball Debate. January 27th. The Detroit Pistons lose Brandon Jennings for the season to a ruptured Achilles tendon. You didn't know about this?
No. That's why my mouth is hanging open. Oh, they're in trouble.
Yvonne, how much does this hurt Detroit?
This hurts them tremendously. This hurts them tremendously. And this is not something he's going to get over in a couple of weeks. Your Achilles tendon? Are
He's
you
out for the
kidding?
year. Out for the season.
He's not coming back.
He's out for the season.
I know. This is a tremendous loss. And bless his heart, my prayers are with him. That Achilles tendon in the back of your foot,
Sensitive.
up the back of your leg, affects your heel, your foot, your toe
knee.
motion, your knee, your ankle. It affects every aspect of your foot.
Yep.
That is the worst place, because your Achilles tendon is the support of your whole. Oh, how did that happen?
Just did.
No, it didn't just do
I mean, you move your foot wrong, and you can rupture your... Oh, yeah. You move your foot wrong, and you can rupture it.
Yeah, I knew you could.
That's how slight the tendon is.
I knew how... It's the strongest tendon you've got down there.
Down there, yeah. But it's very small. It's very thin. It's strong, but it's thin. You move your foot wrong.
Because I know an ACL or a meniscus, I had the meniscus, is bad enough, but the Achilles is so much worse. Wow, my heart goes out to him.
I couldn't have said it better.
My heart goes out to him.
Now, Yvonne, you can relate to this one. Kemba Walker suffers a torn lateral meniscus. No timetable on the return.
Of course not.
Yvonne, how much does this hurt
Does he
Charlotte?
have to have surgery?
Don't know yet.
More than likely he will.
How much does this hurt
Torn
Charlotte?
lateral? That's up and down. More than likely he will.
How much does this hurt Charlotte and why?
Of course. Of course it's going to hurt him. He's a very strong player.
When you're talking about teams trying to get into the playoffs for the East, Detroit and Charlotte should immediately come to your mind. Kemba Walker needs to thank God that this is a lateral tear and not a jagged tear.
Yeah.
Number one. Now, no tear is good, obviously. But it's better that it's lateral than jagged. There is that silver lining.
Yeah.
Where that silver lining turns black is when you look at the stats.
Yeah.
I don't know if you realize this. This man leads Charlotte in points per game, assists per game,
No. You're not going to say it.
and steals per game.
I didn't know that. Wow.
So in essence, they're losing their best player.
Yeah. All around. Yeah.
This hurts because you're trying to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And now you got to try to do it without the engine that makes
right,
you go.
Right. And he's not going to be back anytime soon. And I'd like to add a footnote to that too. Letting it try to heal on its own is a futile thing. They may as well go ahead and do the surgery and get it over with. Because if they let it try to heal on its own and he goes out there,
Could heal wrong.
not only that, he could tear it to where it's a clean, complete tear, and his career would be over.
Yep.
So they might as well. I mean, you can't put a little ice on this and hope in a couple of weeks he's going to be okay.
No.
No.
LaMarcus Aldridge delays his thumb surgery, plays, and scores 26 in the win on the 24th against Washington. Yvonne, first, your thoughts on the win for Portland. over Washington.
The win for Portland, I picked Washington, but honestly, we discussed it and I told you I wouldn't be surprised it could go either way. But I was pulling based on the record that they had at the time, and I really thought Washington was going to take it. I think if it had been the other way around and Washington would have been at home, I think Washington would have won it. I would like to say, I would like to say that only somebody like LaMarcus Aldridge would play with a torn and dysfunctional thumb in the game of basketball. He is a bull. Which answers your part B question. Was it smart? No. For himself personally? No. He was taking a really big chance. And I know that. Was it good for the team? Yes. Is he the type of person that would do something like this? Absolutely. I know how much you love Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose in a million years would never have played in this kind of condition.
Thoughts on the win for
He's
Portland?
a beast.
Thoughts on the win for Portland are that is an extremely good win against, without a doubt, an elite team in Washington. Was this smart to do?
No. It was smart for the team.
Okay, is the story good? Yes. He comes, he's got a tear in his thumb, he's got to have surgery, he'll be out 6 to 8 weeks. He plays, and he scores 26. It's storybook.
Okay.
Of course.
Did it have a happy ending? Yes. Could it have backfired big time?
Wait. But see, that's where you're wrong. This isn't the end. Because he's not having the surgery.
Oh. He's not having it at all? How's he playing?
He's playing.
You can't tape your thumb and play.
Oh, yeah, you can. What you think he did in this game?
It was wrapped, but it wasn't taped. He's taping it to his pointer finger?
I don't know. He wrapped it.
Oh, well, if it's wrapped like it was in this game, he can, yeah. He is going to continue to play like that.
And I don't like it.
He's
taking
his whole career in his hands.
If you're going to be out for 6 weeks, you got the All-Star break coming up.
Yep.
Do it now.
Do it now and get it over with.
The team needs you for the playoffs.
Uh-huh.
Portland's a playoff team. Come on. Damian Lillard right now is in the top 5 offensive guards in the league. That kid can carry the team while you're gone.
Yep.
Not to mention Wesley Matthews.
And
Nick Batum.
Just like Kemba Walker should go ahead and have his meniscus fixed.
It's a thumb.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe even faster.
Yeah.
Because the thumb is the strongest bone is the strongest finger on your body.
Yeah.
The thumb on your dominant hand is the strongest finger in your body.
It is on his shooting hand?
Yes.
Of course it is. Can he shoot left-handed?
I'm sure he can. Not like this, but I'm sure hook shots. I mean, he was shooting anyway.
Well, there are some of those players out there that are equally as good right or left-handed.
It's not a smart thing to do.
No.
He needs to go ahead and have it.
No.
Just get it over with.
It was a wonderful...
It's storybook, but
for that game.
It doesn't have a happy ending.
No.
I'm telling you, it does not.
It was a happy ending just for that one night.
Okay, you ready? Klay Thompson drops 52 points, 37 of them in the third quarter, in a dominant Golden State win. Yvonne.
Please tell me you don't have anything negative to say about this.
Your thoughts on Thompson's performance.
Please tell me you don't have anything negative to say about this, and you know why? I'm gonna sum it up for you right now. I don't go on and about how awesome I think Klay Thompson is, but let me tell you something, okay? The camera zoomed in on the sidelines, and I gained a new respect for Stephen Curry. The phone just doesn't stop. And And as I was saying before our interruption, I apologize for that. I've gained a new respect for Stephen Curry. The camera zoomed in on him, and when Klay Thompson was making those drops, boom, 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 all those baskets and all those shots in the third, they zoomed in on Curry, standing up on the sidelines, grinning like a Cheshire cat, from ear to ear, clapping his hands as loud as he could. I saw no envy. I saw no jealousy. I saw no resentment. I saw nothing but a guy who was very, very happy for his teammate, and it was his game. It was, you know how Papa's always told you, if it's not your day, it's not your day, and if you're on fire, and nothing gonna stop you. That was his game. That was his game, and he did a good job of it, and he didn't strut and go off the court pounding his chest and all that kind of stuff. He did a couple of shouts and threw his fist up in the air like, yeah. A couple of them was because he couldn't believe it had gone in. I think it was it was exciting to watch, that's for damn sure. It was fun to see, it was exciting to watch. And as you have pointed out so many times, it's about time, with the salary they're paying him, that he earns his money. He earned his money for that game. For that game, he earned his money.
I can't disagree with anything you said.
Okay. However,
because everything you said is true.
Oh, but you're gonna add a
this man, NBA record, 37 points in a quarter, 13 of 13, 9 of 9 from 3. It's unprecedented. I am not arguing the historical value of this performance, and I'm also not going to argue that Klay Thompson has been earning his money this season, and I'm not going to argue with you about the point you made about Stephen Curry, which is very interesting, by the way. Good job on that one. Yes, I did. I was wondering if you were going to point it out.
Yeah. I was so excited, and he was genuinely excited for him.
I just have one question.
Okay.
37 in the third quarter.
In one quarter.
Where was he for the other 3? That's the only thing I'm going to ask.
I don't know.
See, to me, to others, they'd be like, really? You're going to focus on that? Yeah, I'm going to focus on that.
Well, now, let me say, not to interrupt you, but let me say, I do know where you're going with that. Because to be perfectly honest, if you score 20 points in the first quarter, 23 in the second, you drop down to 18 in the third, you come back up for 34 in the fourth, you can say you had a consistent game and you had a hell of a game because you had a lot of points. But to do nothing, and then all of a sudden,
I mean, in 12 minutes, you break this down, it doesn't even make any sense. In 12 minutes, he had 37 points.
Yeah.
Let's do some math here. 52.
How
30,
many of them were 3-point shots?
In that quarter?
Yeah.
He hit 9 threes in that quarter.
9
So
threes.
27 of the 37.
27 of the 37 with 3-point shots.
He's a 3-point shooter. Right. I don't care about that.
We already knew that.
What's 37 from 52? 15, right?
Yeah.
In 12 minutes, this man had 37 points. It's historic.
Yeah.
But in 36 minutes, he had 15.
Yeah.
That, to me, makes no sense. I'm sorry.
That's a good point.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. That's a good point.
And I know that people are watching this and going, really? Is this guy serious? As an NBA analyst, yes, I'm dead serious.
Well, you got to ask the hard question.
I'm dead serious.
You got to ask the hard question.
Where were you for the other 3?
You're right.
I mean, if a guy has 20 points and scores 5 points a quarter.
Were they not falling? I don't remember.
And the guy scores 5 points a quarter, at least he's there consistently.
Right.
But for 36 minutes, you disappear. In essence.
I don't remember looking back, which is not a good sign.
Right.
What happened? Were they just not falling?
I want to know. I want to know.
That means, oh,
I want to know.
that means 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. He made 14 shots in the third quarter, 9 of which were three-point shots, and the others were either foul shots or two-pointers.
Which is fine. The third quarter, hitting 9 threes in a quarter, that's fine. You're a three-point shooter. I want to know if you can score 37 in 12 minutes, where are you for the other 36 minutes?
That means in the other 3 quarters,
He had 15 combined.
he had 15 points. That's a very good question. I never thought about it like that.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, I am not undermining
Or diminishing.
the historical
Yeah.
value
Yeah.
of this
But
performance.
it is a legitimate question.
I'm sorry. And it is even more of a legitimate question come playoff time.
Yeah. 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 He's not an all-star, is he?
He is. He is on the All-Star team.
He is on
He
the
and Stephen
All-Star
Curry
team.
both are on the All-Star team.
Wow. What position is he going to play?
Shooting guard, but he's a reserve. He's not
He's
starting.
not a starter.
He's not starting.
Okay.
But let me congratulate him. Because it's historic. It
Yeah.
really is. Congratulations,
But you
Clay.
did bring a
You deserve it.
You did bring up a very legitimate, hey, not only a legitimate, but just a common sense question. If you can do that in 12 minutes.
Where are you for the other 36?
Where are you for the
Last time
other-
I checked, basketball is a 48-minute game, not a 12-minute game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what if Klay Thompson doesn't score 37 in the third? Have we ever thought about that?
Yeah.
What if Thompson doesn't score 37 in the quarter because Golden State won by 25? But if Thompson doesn't have 37 in the third quarter, Golden State loses this game. Ouch. Just saying. Dwight Howard.
Well, if Klay Thompson had not done what he did, Sacramento scored 101. And they
Golden
scored
State loses by
127.
11.
They would they would have lost by more than that. You subtract 52 from 126. That would have been 75.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. It's a 26-20.
Yeah.
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 Dwight Howard suffers a sprained ankle, out probably 2 to 3 weeks. Yvonne Juno, your thoughts?
Can I ask you a question
Absolutely.
without getting you upset?
Oh, jeez.
Did you see that happen?
I did.
You did.
I did.
You saw.
I
when
saw
it
his
happened.
ankle come down on the shoe of another guy, and it twisted. It looked painful.
Okay.
And keep in mind, this is 7 feet, 270 pounds coming down on that ankle. Yes.
Okay. Cause the one time now I'm not gonna be ugly. I'm gonna legitimately say that I only saw the playback one time. So to me, from the angle that I saw it at, when they replayed it, it didn't look like it should have been a sprain. Because it didn't look like he came down that hard on it.
And it's not how hard he came down. It's
It's
the way.
angle he came down on it.
Correct. Came
Okay.
down on another guy's shoe, and you saw his ankle go like that, and it's 280 pounds coming down.
Now, and this also happened in the second quarter?
Third.
Third
Early
quarter.
third.
Early third quarter, right after halftime. Okay.
He exited the game in a walking boot, which is never good.
Well, and he hasn't played since. Oh, by the way, before you go off on how you feel about this with Dwight Howard, did anybody out there happen to see the game-winning shot by James Harden at the buzzer?
Against Phoenix.
Oh my gosh. That was something you show little boys who want to be a
And
basketball player.
I'm gonna bring this up for the final time on this show. Every time we talk about Houston as a team, the first name you say, Yvonne, is Dwight Howard. Oh, yes, ma'am!
Unless it's something negative.
No.
James Harden
Because
is the team.
every time we talk about Houston playing somebody, or how are they going to stop Dwight? Or how are they going to stop Dwight?
Yeah, I do
Which
ask
is
those kind of
valid.
questions.
Which is
Yeah.
valid. But I have been saying,
James Harden is
hello?
James Harden is the team. He's like a force of nature.
Now, Dwight Howard.
And he is a starter for the All-Star.
Yes.
Okay.
Now that Kobe's out. Yes.
Right. How do you feel about this?
This is going to sound shrewd. This is going to sound really messed up. But this could not have happened at a better time.
Oh, you definitely have to elaborate.
We have 2 weeks till the All-Star break.
Okay.
He's out 2 weeks.
Okay.
So not only does he have these 2 weeks, he's got All-Star week to recuperate. It could not have happened at a better time. If it's gonna happen
now's
now.
the time to happen. How many games are they going to suffer
I would say about 8 or 9.
in the next 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
How far down the list is that going to bring their ranking if they do?
I don't think at all.
All right, let me ask you a question. Do you think they can still win games without Dwight
Absolutely.
Howard?
Not as convincingly, but yes, they can.
Okay, maybe the scores won't be as high.
Yes, they can.
But as long as James Harden's on that team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, hypothetical question. Role reverse. If this had happened to James.
They could still win games, but it'd be a much higher hill to climb.
Okay.
Much higher.
We agree. We agree.
Now, will Houston beat teams like Portland? No. Because LaMarcus Aldridge is on that floor and you don't have Dwight Howard to compensate for LaMarcus Aldridge.
Oh my God.
Will they beat teams like Dallas? No, because you've got Dirk Nowitzki. San Antonio? No, you've got Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
let it happen now.
Yeah.
Chicago beats Dallas in Joakim Noah's return. On the 23rd, Noah came back. That was Friday. This past Friday. And as you see, Chicago beat Dallas 102-98. That was one of our differences. I picked Chicago, you picked Dallas. Which I told you I could see Dallas beating Chicago. And you told me you could see Chicago beating Dallas. So there wasn't much separation between us picking.
But you got that pick, not me.
I did. My question to you, Yvonne, is, or the question posed to us is, how much does Joakim Noah's presence change Chicago? And why?
What were his stats that night?
Well, I'm not sure of his stats.
I think he makes a difference, but I don't think it makes as big a difference as it would if you took somebody else off the team. You cannot compare Noah with a couple of the other players on the Chicago team.
Who are we comparing him to?
You can compare him to taking Derrick Rose off the team.
Not in the same way, no.
Okay, well then I'm not going to answer the question anymore. Why don't you enlighten me as to what you think? Because 2 debates ago, you told me that it wasn't going to make that big a difference with Noah out.
And it hasn't.
Now, I don't know if you were looking at the upcoming games and making that prediction, or if you meant just in general. Please elaborate.
Because you have Taj Gibson to come off the bench.
And Gibson is good.
He's very good. But he's good in a different way than Joakim Noah. And the biggest comparison I've been getting through email, because I send these debates to our viewers. I have emails of our viewers that email me.
Okay.
And I send them as topics.
Okay.
Hey, check these out. What do you think? Give me some responses. I got one, a very specific one that I remember. on this topic right here, number 11. And it said, I'm not really sure why Chicago plays better with Noah on the floor than they do without him, because they still have Pau Gasol. And that's valid. And that's the biggest comparison I've been getting is, well, you still have Pau Gasol, so you're obviously not missing Joakim Noah that much.
Pau is good.
Offensively. And from a rebounding perspective, there is not too many people better at that power forward spot than Pau Gasol right now.
Right.
I'm not disputing that.
Oh, it's obvious.
I'm simply stating that when we talk about Joakim Noah, we're talking about the reigning Defensive Player of the Year. Deserved over Anthony Davis? Probably not. But you can't argue Noah's defensive prowess. The threat that he brings. Would you drive at Joakim Noah? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. He's known as a shot blocker. He's known as a guy.
You would drive at him before you would drive at Pau?
Yes. Because Pau Gasol is not known for his defense.
Okay.
Rebounding, yes. But defense, shot blocking ability, and we know Noah, after he blocks a shot, he gets all pumped up. That's not Pau Gasol. Pau Gasol gets pumped up when he scores 46.
Yeah.
Like he did this
Yeah.
about a month ago.
Yeah.
That's not what Noah does, though. We know that. Joakim Noah is there as a defensive presence. Kind of the same as Dwight Howard. You're not going to drive at Dwight Howard. You're not.
Noah's more aggressive is what you're trying to say.
Right.
And intimidating.
He brings that aggressiveness. He brings that intimidation factor that we talk about. That's why.
Even though he's not that big.
Well, he's 7 foot. I mean, come on. He's the defending Defensive Player of the Year. He is. Like it or not, he is.
Okay.
That is how Noah changes Chicago. From a defensive, Noah's not going to get 30 points because that's not what he does.
No.
He blocks shots.
Right.
He gets rebounds. He says, not in my house.
Right.
Anthony Davis does the same thing defensively. Or I'll give you a better comparison on New Orleans. Omer Asik. He ain't going to get you 30 points, but he's going to get you some blocks, and he's going to rebound. That's Joakim Noah. That's how he changes Chicago.
Okay.
In a different... Taj Gibson is great. I'm not arguing it.
Right.
But again, Gibson's known for his offense. Gibson can block shots, but that's not what he's known for.
Right.
Pau Gasol can block shots. He's 7'1". But you're not intimidated by his defense. You're gonna... if you have to think twice before you drive at an opposing center, then that center is obviously deserving of some credit.
Okay.
Dwight Howard, Joakim Noah, Zach Randolph.
Lord have mercy.
You're not gonna do... Back in the day, Shaq.
Yeah.
You weren't gonna do it.
Yeah.
But LaMarcus Aldridge, not known for his defense. Dirk. That's what I criticize Dirk for. Not known for his defense. Pau Gasol, same thing. Noah is a great defensive center. That's how he changes Chicago. That's why Chicago wins more games with Noah than without him. It just makes sense. It just makes logical sense when you talk about it. You give up less points, you're going to win more games. It's that simple.
Okay.
Ty Lawson, arrested.
We need to take a break and go to the next.
No, we got a couple more. We can finish this page.
All right.
Ty Lawson, arrested on DUI suspicion. Yvonne Juno, give us your thoughts.
Did they prove it or not?
Yes.
He was driving under the influence.
Yes.
Okay? What is the outcome? What is the final verdict? A fine?
From what I hear,
A suspension?
from what I
How many
hear,
games?
from what I hear, it is $70,000 fine,
That's no big deal to them.
and it is a week without pay.
No games canceled?
Yeah, suspended a week without pay.
So he's only going to miss 1 week of games.
4 games, no pay.
They're playing 4 games in 1 week?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure
Now, this is going back to Thursday. Or Friday. Friday.
Okay.
So he's eligible to come back this weekend. Now, that was handed down by Adam Silver. The team could have an added suspension. We don't know yet. The commissioner handed down that suspension.
What do you mean the team could have an added suspension?
Oh, the GM?
Why the team?
Because it went straight to Adam Silver, because Ty Lawson was also the one in the offseason was arrested for domestic violence against his girlfriend. This is his second offense this year.
I understand that, but why should the team pay the price when it's an individual who's doing this? No, the team didn't hold him down and pour the booze down his
You're
throat.
not listening.
Okay, try again.
The GM of the Denver Nuggets can have an added suspension for Ty Lawson.
Oh, to tack on?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant they were going to punish the team
They can.
for what he did. I was about to say, wait, that doesn't even make sense. And who's the coach?
Brian Shaw.
For Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know anything about you? If it was Doc, I would know what's going to happen.
Well, the coach... Okay.
If it was Pop, I would know what's going to happen.
The coach can choose to sit him, yeah, but the coach can't suspend him. That's not the coach's job. That's the GM's job. The coach does not deliver suspensions. The front office.
Nobody can sit his butt down on the bench and not let him play.
He sure can. He sure can, but how long are you going to let that happen without affecting your team and their record? Especially in the Western Conference when you're looking to get that 8th seed.
Before I answer this question, may I ask you a question?
Sure.
How important is Ty Lawson to the team?
Extremely.
In what way?
Because he's their star player. In my mind. Outside of Kenneth Faried.
For Denver?
Yes. The man's averaging 18 and 10 assists. The man's averaging a career high in assists this year. 3rd in the league. Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize his stats were that high.
Oh, yeah. 9.9 assists per game to go with 18
points. Okay, then let me ask you a
points.
second part question. If he's that good and he's that smart, don't you think he was smart enough to know not to do this?
No, because he thinks he can get away with it.
And why is that?
Because he's an athlete.
There's a better reason. Because he's gotten away with shit before.
Are you referring to the domestic violence?
Yes.
Because he didn't get away with that.
Yeah, he did in a matter of speaking.
Okay.
Did he get punished the way you would get punished if you had done
By
that?
the legal system? Absolutely not. So let's blame the legal system, not the NBA.
There you go.
Don't blame the NBA. Because he was cut off from all Denver Nuggets stuff for 2 to 4 weeks.
2 to 4 weeks. Boo-hoo. You go do that to Maddie and see what they do to you.
Blame the legal system. Don't blame the Denver Nuggets.
I have very little to say about this. Except for the fact that number 1, shame on him. Number 2, he should know better. And number 3, how bad is he going to have to screw up before he learns a lesson? He's jeopardizing his future with all of these okay? You do something stupid, consequences go along with it. You got to live up to the consequences. Do I think that it should be maybe for a longer period of time? Absolutely. But then what happens? Then what happens? The whole team suffers.
Well, that, and he could appeal it. He could appeal the suspension, just like Ray Rice did in the NFL. And won.
I don't really want to talk about Ray Rice.
Well, we don't talk about football on this show.
I don't want to talk about anybody that there's video footage of for what he's doing wrong, and they still let him off. You know how I feel about these athletes, whether they're swimmers, hockey players, basketball, football, baseball, I don't care. They are not above the law.
They're not. They're not.
And a $70,000 for somebody like Ty Lawson is a drop in the bucket. That's like $7 for us. Okay? I am more upset not only about the fact that he was driving under the influence, if they proved it, okay, that he could have killed a mama driving her children in the middle of the night or whatever, and he could have killed somebody else in another vehicle. Wants to kill himself, go run into a tree. Okay? He could have killed somebody else in another vehicle. All right? But the thing that's bad enough. The thing that has me the most upset about, why should the rest of the team have to suffer for his stupidity? Because this is going to hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
They lose games because of this. This is going to hurt them. And how would you like to be one of those other players that because Ty Lawson's not playing, y'all might rack up 2 or 3 losses? And then you drop in the standings. And what happens? Everybody's just supposed to smile and it's not supposed to be a big deal. If everybody else has to follow the rules, why doesn't he?
I can't argue with you. Can't argue with you.
You want to get drunk, you stay home and drink where you don't have to get behind the wheel of a car. It's that simple.
Brooklyn's Mirza Teletovic out for the season.
You have nothing to say besides what I said?
No.
Okay.
Brooklyn Nets Mirza Teletovic out for the season with a lung issue.
Oh, there's blood clots in his lungs. Yes.
How much does this hurt Brooklyn and why?
I can't really answer this question because I don't know how much of a benefit he is to the team. Up until last week when I found out he was sick and had this problem and had to sit out, I had never really heard about him that much.
Well, I
had heard the name mentioned, but you can't ask me to say how this is going to hurt the team. Like if you were to ask me, Dirk Nowitzki can't play, how is this going to affect
I can explain it to you in a way that you'll understand perfectly.
Okay, good.
Brooklyn's Mirza Teletovic is New Orleans' Ryan Anderson.
Oh. Then that's going to hurt.
A little bit.
Because Brooklyn's not doing that great to begin with.
Correct.
So if you take him out of the picture, who do they have to take his place?
Well, they're going to have to get bench players. People are going to have to step up.
Okay. How deep is the bench and are they
Pretty
any
deep.
good?
It's pretty deep. Brooklyn actually has one of the better benches.
Does anybody come to mind that you know of that could take his place and do as good a job as he was doing?
He's the sixth man. So it's tough to say because you don't know who's going to be promoted to the sixth-man spot now.
Okay.
It's tough to say. It's tough to say. But they do have one of the deeper benches in the league. So I'm not concerned. I'm not as concerned with Brooklyn as I am for his health. I hope that
I wish him nothing but the best.
he gets treated well and that he has a quick, speedy, and healthy recovery because this is dangerous.
Well, it's not like he asked for this to happen.
Right. And it's not even basketball related. That's what sucks about it.
Right.
Is that playing basketball has absolutely nothing to do with this injury.
Right.
It just stinks to hear.
I think he got sick when that bug was going around and he never got well.
It stinks to hear about something like this happening. But I hope he gets well very quickly and gets back to what he was doing because the guy can play some ball. Golden State's Steve Kerr and Atlanta's Mike Budenholzer to coach the West and the East All-Star teams, respectively. Steve Kerr will coach the West. Mike Budenholzer will coach the East. Is this deserved? Why or why not?
I don't know. Where's Coach K?
Coach K.
Oh,
All-Star
I'm
game.
thinking of
Not the Olympics.
The Olympics.
No, All-Star game.
Who coached last year?
Oh, God.
Wasn't it Doc and somebody else? I think it was Doc and...
I'd have to think. I honestly don't remember.
Are either one, I know Steve Kerr's not brand new.
Yeah, it's his first year.
It's his first year. Now see, I have a problem with that. You have a problem with that?
No, I don't. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it's Budenholzer's second year in Atlanta. Two very young coaches.
Why don't they get veteran coaches?
Because these two teams have the best record in the league. And a coach deserves a reward for it. Because let's keep in mind, only one of those guys can win Coach of the Year. So by doing this, you're giving credit where credit is due. To coach the All-Star team, you're coaching LeBron, Wade, Curry, Chris Paul, Kevin Durant,
Yeah, but you're
all on the same floor.
Yeah, but whoa. Whoa. But they had their own teams.
Mm-hmm.
What if they're partial or they're prejudiced because they're a coach and maybe they had a run-in or a bad stretch with one of these other teams? You don't think there's going to be some partiality shown?
Because the fans picked who starts. Fans picked who starts. So,
Okay.
I think it's great because only one of them can win Coach of the Year.
Okay.
And it's going to be one of those two guys. So,
Which one?
it's got to be Budenholzer with Atlanta. Got to be. 30 out of 32, that's unprecedented. Right now,
Right now.
it's Budenholzer.
As it stands now.
Yes.
Okay.
This concludes part 2. Part 3 coming at you next.
What time do you have to